So this is week one of me going all in on triathlon. I've swam 2,900 meters, I've biked for 3.5 hours, I've ran for 3 hours, and I've lifted for 90 minutes. Welcome to my full week of training. So a quick recap on why I've decided to go all in on triathlon. And it's mainly because personally, I kind of feel like I've completed powerlifting to what I wanted to achieve. And basically I've decided to give up powerlifting and trying to do everything at once. And I just really want to focus on one thing. I've trained in a bit of a hybrid way now for quite a while, and it's been great. And because I was trying to stay as strong as I possibly could, it was affecting how I was doing in triathlon because I wasn't then able to give my full efforts into triathlon. And for me, I felt like it was about time for a change. So I'm currently 40 weeks out from my A race next year, which is the Ironman Swansea 70.3. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've got a half marathon booked for probably a month before that. And then I've got T100 Olympic distance about 3 to 4 weeks after the half Ironman as well. So a nice little endurance-based block of intensity. I do plan on maybe doing another race towards the back end of next year as well. Kind of use this fitness and see what I can do. So giving up powerlifting and essentially that hybrid way of training to go all in on triathlon, and I've decided to put it into a sport that's going to take time. What could go wrong? But before I do get into my full week of training, I would love to hear from you. If you train just for triathlon and you've got a family, what struggles do you normally come across, and maybe what systems have you put in place to make sure you can get everything done? Because it is a lot of work to get done, especially when you have a lot of outside commitments, and we're essentially professional amateurs, and that's how it kind of needs to be. We need to get that balance across the board, and it's definitely quite hard at times. But on things going wrong, what could go wrong when you kick off your plan to do a full week of training? I had my camera settings all wrong, so it was in a different mode where it wasn't actually picking up any audio. But essentially, Mondays are my triple training days. Now that sounds like a lot, and it kind of is, but there's a reason behind it. I start out my day normally with an intense bike because my PT clients don't start till a little bit later in the morning, so about 7 a.m. So I get to start nice and early there. I then go into the gym and I get my strength session there, where it's a bit of like a training and a bit of a team meeting. So we get to kind of get it all done at once. And then I have a swimming lesson in the evening, which is about 30 minutes. So it's a lot to get done in the day, but it kind of just works. Now, lifting for me at the moment is all about having fun and lifting for function. So what it means is when I head into the gym, I follow the strength program that I program for the classes, and I just kind of tweak it a little bit to kind of make it fit what I'm trying to do. So what that kind of looked like was I chased a pump for the start of the session. So it was some bench press, some high volume bench press. So it was 2 sets, and then the third set was an AMRAP at about 70-ish%, and was a really good pump. And it then followed up with some bent over rows. Now, these are a great big compound lift exercise for strengthening your back, strengthening your midline, like your core. And at the end of the day, having a strong midline and having a strong back is going to help with my triathlon. Now, I swapped out the back squats for split squats just because I want to try and work on my single leg strength. And because I want to get stronger at cycling and at running, doing some single leg work is key at building that strength, which is then going to help carry over into my training. Now, the split squats are paired with bicep curls because at the end of the day, I've got to fill out the tri suit. And the last superset of the day was some GHD style sit-ups, where I'm using this to get a nice open hip angle and get a deep stretch into my hip flexors and into my quads, and also work my abs at the same time. Running and cycling does close off that hip angle quite a lot, so I really like this exercise. Will kind of open me up and kind of put me into a different position to what the rest of my training all looks like. And then that's paired with some rolling tricep extensions. Now, the reason for these rolling tricep extensions mainly is because, one, to get an arm pump, but two, I also get to move my rib cage and lats in a way which it helps open up and gets a nice big stretch and help me with my overhead mobility. Now, that's going to massively help me when it comes to swimming. So there we go. Any reason for an arm pump. Now, Monday finishes off with a swimming lesson. So just arrived at the pool now, going in for the third session of today. Mondays are definitely a busy one, having the bike session in the morning, the lifting at lunchtime, and then the swimming lesson in the evening. So by the end of the day, I'm definitely pretty toasted and definitely feeling it, but really happy with kind of the routine that I've kind of created, because
that's a big part of it, especially when you're trying to balance so many different things and trying to get better across the board. It is quite hard to fit it all in, especially when you're working, you've got a family life and stuff like that. It is pretty tough. But for me, these swimming lessons are really important because swimming is a huge weakness of mine. So I decided to get some lessons because at the end of the day, that's where I'm going to get the most out of it, because I'll be able to then kind of drill the basics, get the drills done over and over again each week and get better each week. So then by the time it comes to next year, these drills will just be, the norm, and I'll be able to actually put out a good swim effort rather than me just overcooking my upper body and just enduring the swim. So let's go swimming. I'll catch you guys after. Oh, I'll tell you what, probably the best swimming lesson to date. Bunch of front crawl drills, and at the end I did 4 25-meter sprints, and they were all pretty much at 20 seconds a pop. So really happy with how they're feeling. Don't get me wrong, I was gassed, but they felt strong. I felt like I was gliding. So definitely the quickest I've ever done them. I remember doing, say, those 25-meter intervals in that pool on my own a good while back, and it was basically 30 seconds ago. So to knock 10 seconds off each one shows that something's working. So just like with anything, you put some skin in the game, you get a coach, and things will start to pay dividends in due course. And it's definitely feeling like it's paying dividends now. So just got to keep going. So as a whole, a really solid day of training. Definitely feeling now ready to go home, get some food. It's quite late, it's 7:45. So definitely ready to get some food and go to sleep, get my recovery on, because I've got clients early tomorrow and I've got some hill sprints to do. So yeah, looking forward to getting a good night's sleep. So bike, lift, swim. Now time to go sleep.
So after such a busy Monday, a bit more of a quieter Tuesday with just the one session is very much welcomed. It may only be one session, but it's definitely a tough one because it's my intense run day. And then for this week, first session with my new coach, and it was hill sprints.
So today is day one of following my new coach's program, and it's kicking off with some hill sprints. So I've got 30 minutes easy, just zone 3, ticking over about 5:35, and then into some all-out hill sprint. So I'm going to get this 30 minutes done. I'm going to check it back in with you guys. Hill sprints away. That is steep. Oh, it's been a while since I've done hill sprints. That's rough. 1 down, 5 to go. All right, number 5 or 6. Let's go. So 6 rounds of 1 minute on, 90 seconds off. Up that hill. Absolutely cooked now. That was tough. Rounds 4 and 6 definitely the hardest, but feel good now that I've done it. Now a little about 1k jog home, and then in the tub and recover.
So back on the bike on Wednesday, and it was for some cadence work. Now, this is essentially like another strength session because the speed was actually going a lot slower compared to my normal RPM. So cadence work is just varying how fast your legs are going. They might be going slower than your normal speed. When you start to go a little bit slower, you're going to start working a little bit more of a strength aspect to your cycling. If you're making them move faster, it's a little bit more aerobic. So it'd be a bit more like fitness based. So let's get into that session. So it's day 2 working with my new coach, and today I've got some seated climbs, which is pretty fun. I haven't really done any specific cadence work over the past couple of years. So I've got 4 5-minute blocks where I'm focusing on that lower cadence. So I roughly spin my legs out about 85, 90 RPM. So those 4 rounds of 5 minutes, I'm going to be thinking about going about 70, 60 and maybe 50 RPM, and then I'm not too sure what to do on the last one yet. Kind of see how the first lot feel, but doing that low cadence work, really good at building that leg strength. And
when you're kind of pushing towards the end of the race and you need to dig deep and you're looking to try and find that extra bit, cadence work is that really good way of kind of building that resilience for later on in the race. So it's pretty much, like I said, it's the strength side of cycling. Just like yesterday where I did my hill repeats, that's essentially the strength work of running. This is the strength work of cycling. So looking forward to getting stuck in, just an hour workout. We'll get through this and I'll catch you guys maybe halfway through, see how we're getting on. Whew. 2 rounds down and definitely feeling yesterday's sprints. It's tough. So first round I did all in the TT bars, that was at 70 RPM. Second round was all up here in the drops, that was at 60 RPM. That was tough. So now down to 50 and then we'll see. Wow. 45 to 50 RPM, pretty much in that round. That hurts so much. It's weird though, being in that seated position and erg mode, there's just no reason to stop apart from the pain. So I think there's a good honesty thing there of driving through. I reckon in this last one, I'm just gonna see what I can do. Go as slow as possible. So try and get another round at that 45 to 50. And then just if I have to increase the cadence, just I'll kind of do this as a free ride one. But try my best to stay as low as possible for as long as possible. Whew. That was a serious workout. I'm just in my 10-minute cool down now. That last round, basically, I was sitting around the 45s, pretty much the whole thing. I actually got too slow, where erg mode in a way started to turn off, and it said I needed more power. So I think I got to 38, and I presume it's then thinking I couldn't do it anymore. So it started to release some of the power. So I had to kind of bring my speed back up to 45 RPM. Oh, excited to actually think about putting more time into some bike specific stuff, getting strong, not just being fit. So because I definitely know the back end of my races where the leg sides get cooked, I need to have that extra strength so that when it comes to getting on the run, my legs still have something to give. So oh, I love it, absolutely love it. I love working on a program, not having a clear direction of where you want to get to, and having a coach is just awesome because you just lean on that person. And the thing is, it's not even the first time I've had a coach. Every time I've had a coach, I've had a really successful prep for whatever it is. So it's mainly just so you don't doubt yourself and you don't keep chopping and changing, and the coach gives you clear direction of what you're supposed to be doing, and then also making sure you stick it. And for me, I work really well having accountability of someone else. So buzzing to have finally got a coach and see what I can do over the next essentially 8 months, 9 months. Buzzing. Anyway, gonna cool down now, get in the tub, freeze these legs, have a shower, get off to work. Whoa.
So Thursday was back to another double day, and to make sure I can get both sessions in around work and everything else like that, I have to do a really early session, and then I get my swim session in the middle of the day where I'm in between clients and working at the gym. So this day started out with an easy 60-minute run, kicked that off probably about 5:45, so 5:45 in the morning.
Whew, absolutely lovely. 10.6k, I think it was. Average heart rate of 144. So running an average of around a 550 per kilometer pace. It's probably the fastest I've run with the best
average heart rate. I did peak up to about 154 points at the max, but that was mainly because the hills, when you're walking and running up the hills, heart rate's going to elevate. But really happy that my average heart rate 144, buzzing. So really happy with today. So swim a little bit later, get a haircut hopefully, and then rest day tomorrow. Definitely going to need that rest day. Body's feeling the training low, shall we say. So looking forward to having that rest day before a big endurance based weekend. Oh yeah, also running without headphones, forgot how nice it is to just run, the sound of your feet, your breathing. It's lovely, especially those easy runs, because if I listen to music, it affects my running cadence way too much. So just having my breathing, my feet as that metronome, awesome. So just off for a swim now. Obviously had my run earlier this morning. Got some breakfast, had some clients, got into the gym. Now off to the Lido. Love this pool. 50 meters outdoors, sometimes a bit cold, but it's nice. And yeah, so I've got about 2,000 meters to swim today. I've got 200 warm up, then 100, 200, 300, 3 times through with a 15-second rest in between, and then a 200 cool down. So happy with that. That was 2,000 meters. It gave me an extra 50 meters for whatever reason. But I did the 200 warm up plus the 100, 200, 300 with 15-second rest 3 times through. But I messed up one of the rounds and I did 100, 200, 200. So I added on 100 at the end with that same sort of intensity. But averaging 210 per 100 meters. So for 2,000 meters, that's massive for me. So really happy with that. Really happy. Did cramp up a lot, I'd say, on the last round of 1, 2, 3. Push off the wall, my right calf and left hamstring started to cramp, and then getting out the pool, my adductors, so my inner thighs. Whew. Anyway, looking forward to tomorrow's rest day. It's definitely needed. So after my rest day on Friday, it's now time for my endurance bike session. This was my first and last session that I'm actually going to be outside during the winter, mainly because at the end of the day, it's just too dark when I'm kicking off, because I don't want the session to start to impact my family time, especially on the weekend. And going for a long bike ride is just not really practical, especially if you're doing a couple of hours. So generally I want to try and start as early as possible, and leaving before 6 a.m. it's still pitch black, and where I cycle to is all country roads, so there's no lights, no nothing apart from the lights are on me. I'm wearing a bright orange jumper and that's not even really enough, and it did feel a little bit sketchy, not gonna lie. So from next week I will be just sticking to the trainer, because it means I can just start a little bit earlier. I can start at 4:35 and get my work done then. It just doesn't impact the family time. But at the end of the day, training on the trainer is a luxury, and it might be a bit more boring, but then you have the home comforts. You can kind of set everything up. You ain't got to worry about stopping. You can put in some honest work. And at the end of the day, if I want to try and do these longer sessions, you have to make it work so it doesn't impact the family. So the trainer is the way forward. And now that leaves me with my long run Sunday. Oh, now that was tough. Today's workout is, it's like say, 20-odd minute warm up into 2 5k efforts at threshold. I don't think I'm quite ready for those 5k efforts yet. I got to 3k and I was like, I think that's enough, because I could just feel me deteriorating throughout. Now obviously during a threshold run you'd expect that. You know, I'm used to pain and enduring, but I just think 2 5k efforts are just a little bit too far for me. But it's a beautiful morning, as you can see. Got a nice chill in the air. Got 1 minute 30 left of this rest. Now I've got to go again for, I think I'll do another 3k, and then I'll look to just maybe add on the kilometers at the end, so I still get the total run volume. Whew. So interval 2, thought I'd push a bit more than 3k, because I found a nice groove at around 4:45.
But now I can start to kind of feel my knees, hamstrings, everything just didn't feel right. And so I decided to cut interval 2 at 3.5k. Now, not necessarily ideal, definitely not what I wanted to do, especially not in the first week working with a coach. You kind of want to do all the good stuff. But something that is important is not blowing my load early doors. Essentially what I mean is there's no point overreaching 40 weeks out from a race. It's better to, in my opinion, as a coach myself, it's better to, you know, drop back, live to fight another day, and essentially not worry about it, because I still got the stimulus. I still worked hard for 2-3k efforts. So yes, I didn't get the full 5, but I got 60% of the work done in both of the intervals. So it's a win, not the win I wanted, but it's a win I'm going to take. But that's a nice way to round off this week of training. It's been hard, but it's been good.
So this wraps up my first full week of training for triathlon and working with a coach. As I mentioned at the start, I swam for 2,900 meters, so that was about an hour's worth of swimming. I've biked for 3.5 hours. I've ran for 3 hours, and I've lifted for 90 minutes. Now I've got a lot to learn in regards to balancing the increase in training volume in just one type of modality, how to be fully present with the family when you're tired from all the training and all that stuff, and obviously managing both work with all my clients, both in person and online, and trying to fit in all that work as well. I've definitely taken a lot on my plate, but we'll see how it goes and see what I have to manage. That's kind of one of the reasons why I hired a coach as well, because whenever I program for myself, I do tend to want to do more. So having a coach there is just having someone to kind of bounce ideas off, kind of when things are getting a bit tough, you can kind of explain, and then hopefully you kind of get things tweaked to make sure they fit in with your day-to-day life. And all of this, I've decided to get back into filming content for YouTube, which I'm buzzing to be getting back into, but what am I doing? But if you did like this style of video, my full week of training, me kind of breaking bits down throughout the week, I'd love to hear. Drop in the comments below if you enjoyed the video and if there's anything maybe you want me to cover. As I mentioned at the start, if you do triathlon and you have a family, you work, how do you balance it all? Are there any systems that you've put in place to kind of make sure you get it all done? What are some of the struggles that you come across? I'd love to hear, because at the end of the day, I want to learn and kind of hear how other people's journeys are and what other people are going through, because that's what I like to see on YouTube. When I see other people's journeys, I get to kind of take bits from their experiences and kind of see how I can implement them in mine. So yeah, I'd love to hear it in the comment section down below. But for now, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate your time. And if you're interested in following the journey of a powerlifter to a professional amateur triathlete, definitely give us a subscribe and follow me along for this journey. It's going to be interesting.